Balake, where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is here, everyone. I've been gone for a week, not been feeling very well, and I'll probably do a live stream later talking about everything that's been going on the last week. But what we are here to talk about today, welcome back, everybody, for some more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Guys, it is official. David Miscavige has been served. The judge has ruled that he has been served. He has signed a paper agreeing that he has been served. David Miscavige is officially a party to Leah Remini's lawsuit against David Miscavige and Scientology and a couple other Scientology organizations. It is actually incredible. And there's a bit of a backstory to this that I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into. I meant to do this story a few days ago, guys, but as I said, I've been missing in action for a little bit. So let's just get right to the part where the judge issued this. This was a tentative ruling. And this tentative ruling, the hearing on this tentative ruling was actually postponed or canceled because Miscavige had already signed a paper agreeing to accept service. Now, okay, I'll let the cat out of the bag. The judge already knew that Miscavige had signed the paper agreeing to accept service before he issued this tentative ruling. The judge issued the tentative ruling anyway, and that was 100% intentional. He didn't have to do it. There was no need whatsoever to do it. And the real kicker will be, will the judge officially adopt his ruling as an official ruling, even though it's technically not necessary? Miscavige is served. He is a party to the case. Okay, so let's jump right to the third section of the tentative ruling, arguments and analysis. The judge says in his first motion, Miscavige, or as the judge likes to say, Miscavige, in his first motion, Miscavige argues that neither 4401 Sunset Boulevard, which, by the way, guys, that is Scientology Media Productions, which is a big multimedia production studio that Scientology owns in Hollywood. Neither 4401 Sunset Boulevard nor 5930 Franklin Avenue. Guys, 5930 Franklin Avenue is the Celebrity Center. He argues that neither of these addresses are proper places to serve him because they are not his residence or his usual place of business. Technically, those are correct arguments. In his second motion, Miscavige contends the same of 6331 Hollywood Boulevard and 1710 Ivar Avenue. Now, guys, 6331 Hollywood and 1710 Ivar are two separate entrances to the same building called the Hollywood Guarantee Building, which is actually Miscavige's legal and business address. Miscavige also argues that plaintiff, Leah Remini, has not made reasonably diligent efforts to serve him personally. Now that the guffaws have subsided, the speciousness of that argument becomes readily apparent when one actually examines the facts. Okay, and then he quotes some facts about substitute service. Here, plaintiff Leah Remini has met her burden to demonstrate reasonable diligence and then some. Plaintiff's counsel explains her diligent efforts to locate an address for Miscavige. Based on those leads, plaintiff attempted service at 7 addresses, multiple dates, believed to be affiliated with Scientology and or Miscavige. Plaintiff's counsel has spent nearly $10,000 thus far in their attempts to serve Miscavige. Admittedly, it is difficult to identify which of the numerous properties owned or operated by Scientology is Miscavige's usual place of abode or usual place of business. The difficulty in doing so comes from Scientology's use of gates, lawyers, private security to obscure Miscavige's whereabouts. But it is established that a defendant will not be permitted to defeat service by rendering physical service impossible. And then he cites case law. Defendant does not dispute that these 4 locations at which substitute service occurred are affiliated with or owned by Scientology. He also does not dispute that process servers have been denied entry at all of these locations. Under the circumstances, service on security guards who were apparently in charge of the properties and could and did deny the process servers access to various Scientology properties was sufficient to serve Miscavige. This cat and mouse game has run its course. Plaintiff has therefore met her burden to establish that any of the 4 addresses at which substitute service occurred qualify under the statute And any one of those substitute service attempts was sufficient to confer jurisdiction over defendant Miscavige. Statutes, and then, okay, he quotes this, a statute. Accordingly, Miscavige's motion to quash is denied. And then the judge offers some concluding observations. As this court commented at the most recent hearing in this case, this motion should never have been filed. This court had encouraged the lawyers for both sides to resolve the issue of service against Miscavige without the need for court intervention. Be that as it may, the court recognizes that Miscavige certainly has the right to be served by proper process of law. Although we are well within the 21st century, these rather antiquated service laws still exist and must be enforced by the courts, so be it. Miscavige was, in fact, properly served. But the arguments put forth by Miscavige, while mostly technical in nature, still must be reasonable. For example, to contend that plaintiff has not made reasonably diligent efforts to serve him simply stretches one's credulity. It is simply time for Miscavige to simply step up as a responsible member of our community, to generally appear in this case and defend himself against the serious allegations being made against him by the plaintiff in this case. He is the apparent leader of a worldwide religious organization with considerable funds and support. He has literally teams of lawyers to defend him. Now is the time to utilize them to defend this case on the merits. It is so ordered. Ba-boom! And that is all she wrote, folks. Okay, now when you see everything that he wrote, I can just imagine. I like to imagine the judge getting notified by either Miscavige's counsel or Leah's counsel that Miscavige has actually signed, the acceptance of service. And I can just imagine the judge being like, you're not getting out of this that easy, Miscavige. No, sir, Miscavige guy, this Miscavige guy. I didn't write up this tentative ruling just to not publish it. Now, one of the things that's interesting, and maybe I can ask my lawyer friend Zach about this, is when it says here, oh, yeah, there is, where he basically said any one of these 4 addresses would have been sufficient. Here we go. Plaintiff has therefore met her burden to establish that any one of the 4 addresses at which substitute service occurred qualify under the statute. And any one of those substitute service attempts was sufficient to confer jurisdiction over defendant Miscavige. Whenever I'm quoting Judge Randolph Hammock, I'm going to say Miscavige because that is quite literally how he says Miscavige's name in the courtroom. This is why I am very hopeful that the judge will publish this ruling. And it's why I think the judge will. Because, and this is why I have to ask my lawyer friend Zach, because I know there's very specific rules about what rulings are binding on other courts or can be binding if they want them to be and that kind of stuff. If he actually publishes this ruling that says even trying to serve him at the Celebrity Center or Scientology Media Productions or either of the entrances of the Hollywood Guarantee Building on Hollywood and Ivar, any of those 4 addresses is sufficient to serve and convey jurisdiction over Miscavige. It is my understanding that other civil litigant teams could use that ruling just to make servicing Miscavige so much easier in the future. And I don't know if I'm stretching a little bit on that, but I'll ask my lawyer friend Zach about that. A little birdie has told me that Miscavige has officially accepted service in not only the Leah Remini lawsuit, but the Jane Doe trafficking lawsuit as well. These lawsuits are being presided over by 2 judges that the courtrooms are right next to each other, and they share robing chambers. They're like chamber buddies, robing buddies. They get dressed in the same, where the judge puts on their robes. They're buddies. They're bros. They know each other, and they are both presiding over civil lawsuits against David Miscavige, where he's been dodging service in both lawsuits. And the hearing. So I'm going to get my days wrong because my days are all screwed up now. But let's say this was on the 14th. The 14th was Wednesday, right? There was a hearing on Thursday in Leah Remini's lawsuit for this ruling that I just read for you. That hearing was postponed because it wasn't necessary because Miscavige accepted service. There was a hearing the next day, Friday, in the Jane Doe lawsuit where the exact, the similar matter was going to come up. That was also postponed. It was postponed for another reason. But if it had not been postponed, we would have learned, a little birdie has told me, we would have learned that Miscavige had accepted service in both lawsuits. That's a big deal. But there's no tentative ruling in the other lawsuit, right? So in Leah Remini's lawsuit, we have this tentative ruling. If this thing gets published, maybe other litigants can use that. There's no similar tentative ruling in the other lawsuit, to the best of my knowledge. So anyway, that's the update, guys. It's officially over. You can see the judge. The judge literally laughed at Miscavige. I mean, now that the guffaws have subsided, he literally laughed Miscavige and his legal team out of the room, figuratively. So I guess not literally, in his thing, in his tentative ruling. Absolutely amazing. Just a short one. I've got so many videos I want to do. I don't know if I have the energy to do them all. I'm going to try to get maybe one other one in here. And then this evening, I will do a live stream talking about everything that's happened the last week, because it's gross. It's nasty. Can you tell, guys, I've lost some weight? Do I look slimmer? I think I just spit all over my computer. Yes, I have lost some weight. In fact, I lost all the weight I was hoping to lose. I guess sometimes things just work out that way. Let's see, guys. Mr. Slendy says, cry havoc and let loose the squirrels of war. I've never heard cry havoc before, but I really like it. Thank you, Mr. Slendy. James Lasso. I wish somebody would serve Miscavige a pie in the face. Okay, there you go. By the way, if my voice sounds hoarse, it's not from yelling. It's from all the vomiting. Yes, this is not a yelling voice. This is a sick voice. Okay, Dave Owens. Sorry, Osa. Aaron was just sick. Yes, they haven't taken me out yet. Brad Cotter. Did you see Papa Meat's video on Clearwater, Florida? Brad Cotter, that doesn't ring a bell. You guys out there in the SP Nation, email me tons of links to videos, and I do click on almost all of them, I think. That one doesn't ring a bell. Oh, wait. Is that the one where it was like world's the US, the most culty city? If that's not the one, Brad, shoot me an email. growingupinscientology@gmail.com. Okay, Chris 10M. Confident Chris went back to the crime scene yesterday, was the man that came up to him an OSA plant. I've gotten a lot of messages about this. First of all, the fact that guy was there just before Chris was attacked and was there today when he went back is creepy and weird and troubling. However, I was contacted by somebody today who knows who that person is. And he is, I'm told, a somewhat well-known blogger. And I'm not sure, personally, I cannot tell you if that guy is associated with Scientology. It's always possible that somebody can be a publicly known person, but secretly be associated with Scientology. I'm just saying that I don't know. But Chris 10, this is not something that's going to go away, because now that guy's on all of our radar. So we're going to find out exactly who he is and what his deal is and what his connection is to Scientology, if any. And so more to come on that. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Half Nelson, he can now be served in court for their cases. Well, no, he's now actually served, Half Nelson. That's what that means. He doesn't need to be served. He has now actually been served. Sean Austin, did someone get Reese a pub sub? I don't know what a pub sub is. Is that just a Subway sandwich that you get in a bar? Otherwise, if this is an inside joke, I don't know what it is, and I don't know the answer. MV Moeller 80. Welcome back, Aaron. Welcome one back, Aaron. Thank you, MV Moeller. It's good to be back. Allison Burn, Animalaholic. Missed seeing you, Aaron. Great news on little Davy and his fake Navy. It is excellent news. Stardust, so good to see you. Good. Thank you for saying so good to see you back. Thank you very much. Good to see you as well. David Thompson, you are so adorable. Well, thank you, Dave. Thank you very much. Let's see. Oh, Amy Lee SP. Missed you. Whatever happened with the Brother Bilal collab? Okay, so here's the deal. I wanted to do an interview with Brother Bilal just the way I normally do my interviews, like StreamYard remotely. Brother Bilal wanted to fly to Clearwater and do an interview with me in studio, in person, high quality and everything. Guys, I am a professional procrastinator. I have almost everything I need to set up my in-studio interview space. I have literally had the cameras, the Amazon tabs to the cameras that I want to order. I've had them open on my laptop for weeks now, and I've never simply pulled out the credit card to order them so I can actually get my space set up. When I have my space set up, I can give Brother Bilal a call. He actually just texted me while I was sick with a new number saying, "Hey, let's still do this." I'm going to give him a call. I'm going to fly him to town, and we're going to do a big ol' interview, and it's going to be amazing. But that is the only reason we haven't done it, is because I'm a professional procrastinator, and I haven't got my space set up yet for my in-person interview. So thank you for the question. Nerd Report, I'm glad you're back. The protests have been crazy. Nerd Report, excellent. Great to see you. I have not been watching the streams every night, but I've been getting updates, and I've been hearing about the La Poubelle stuff. And I did watch some of the La Poubelle videos, and I am shocked at the developments at La Poubelle. I am shocked that the LAPD shows up every night to escort Francoise Coster to her car. And I did get some other intel from some people about who owns there's a new owner of the grocery store next door, a new Chinese company where Francoise is parking her car there. That's private parking. That's tollway zone. So the new owners are letting her park her car over there. I got some information on the landlord of the other buildings on the block, who's actually the ones hiring the private security. It's actually not La Poubelle who's hiring the private security. Super interesting stuff. Yes. So anyway, I'm going to try to pay more attention to that Nerd Report. It's truly incredible stuff. Simon Superstar, glad you're feeling better. Thank you, Simon. Daisy, so happy you're back. Thank you, Daisy. I appreciate it. Mark Melton, I was about ready to head to the hospital with withdrawal symptoms. Glad you're back. Thank you, Mark. I mean, I got to tell you, I have withdrawal symptoms from not doing videos. But then when I get into when I get a little comfortable, just relaxing and not doing videos, that itself has its own bit of inertia attached to it, where it actually starts to feel good to actually not be thinking about doing videos all the time. I mean, I have not gone a week without doing videos in 2 years. It's unthinkable. I mean, and believe me, guys, I had some false recoveries this last week where I thought I was getting better, and then I got worse. And then, I mean, it's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a week. I'll tell you what. No, I'll save that joke for later. Anyway, good to see you, Mark. Thank you very much. Robin Heikkinen. Wait, Heikkinen. Yep, Heikkinen. Squirrel Squad needs to check their cars for air tags. They do need to check their cars for air tags. And I wish there was a way for them to have camera monitoring on their cars, like a Tesla would. Just cameras all around it. Anyone who even comes close to the thing starts automatically recording. Because I'll tell you, even the protesters in Clearwater have been getting nails in tires. This is Scientology's strategy. Scientology is sending out people to damage cars and initiate violence. It's without question. Okay, Ben Bacon is meat candy. Oh, Ben Bacon is meat candy Turner. Now I get it. Hey, Aaron, so glad you're back, you beast. This means you're going back to Costco for the bulk pizzas. Yes. Well, actually, one of the mistakes I've been making this past week is to not be on a diet that matched up with my gastrointestinal requirements. So as soon as I would feel better, I'd be eating like steak and sushi and pasta and pizza. Anyway, one of the things that has finally saved me is I've adopted a diet of bananas and toast and rice. So I can't go back to Costco just yet, but very soon. Okay, let's see. Heather, off topic. Have you ever been to Cedar Point? I have not been to Cedar Point, but I think that is the place in Ohio that people have been telling me about recently. That is just like the premier roller coaster park in the country or the world. So I'll have to make a pilgrimage there sometime. Thank you, Heather. Kate Cheryl MLS. That's quite the Valentine that Judge sent little Davy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, guys. This has been a fun, short little video. I'm going to try to do another one here, and then I'll do a chat later this evening talking about the last week. Thank you all for hanging out with me this afternoon. Thank you, as always, to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, my love. Then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe